Hello everyone, this is Darson over here. This is my review on the 5th book of the Jedi Quest series, The Master of Disguise. In this novel, it starts off where Anakin is in the middle of a war zone, essentially, along with his master. Essentially what happens is they rescue a bunch of scientists, and one of the Padawans gets injured. Obi-Wan goes out to look for Delta Omega, while Anakin learns a lesson about himself in the meantime. Who's Delta Omega? Something I neglected to mention in the second book, well, the third technically, in this review. This is an antagonist that messed with Obi-Wan and Anakin in the last encounter, and in this one, someone that's supposed to be Anakin's friend turns out to be him, which leaves a mark on Anakin towards the end of this book. Now, up until this point in the series, I don't think we've had an antagonist that's memorable like there was in Jedi Apprentice. I mean, we've had two major antagonists that basically did things to that caused trouble for Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, like Xanatos, for an example. And Delta Omega is a pretty clever guy. And the title of this book, it lives up to it, considering he essentially hides in plain sight. He acts like he's Anakin's friend. And towards the end of this book, things don't go too well. He makes an escape, which the storyline with him, it does not get resolved. And if you listen to these on audiobook, you're not going to be able to get a complete story. So listening to an audiobook is a waste of time. You're better off just reading the entire series, on Kindle, if you don't want to track down the physical copies. That's just my opinion, though. Unlike the other stories, this one ties into a past book. So if you've already read, the other books, I think it could still be read as a novel that stands on its own, but there's more continuity from one book to another. The Master of Disguise, I don't think is as good as the previous book I've read, but I do think this gives character development for Anakin Skywalker, making him realize he's not as good as he thinks he is, and makes him reevaluate himself. That's one thing I got from this book. Obi-Wan, you'd still see the remnants of the Obi-Wan from the Jedi Apprentice series in Episode 1, him being impatient and trying to keep his temper under control. One thing I really like about these books, it does give a more human side to Obi-Wan. And I really enjoy reading these pre-Episode 2 stories of Anakin and Obi-Wan. I'm looking forward to reading the next book in this series, which is called The School of Fear. This is the 6th book. Next time, I talk about Jedi Quest. Well, we're getting closer to the Hayden Christensen Anakin Skywalker. Well, according to this cover, he is. So he's same thing with this one. Anyway, that's all, folks. Sorry for this review being short. There isn't enough to talk about, but don't worry. Next time, hopefully, my review will be longer than under 4 minutes. May the Force be with you, and see you guys next time on The School of Fear. Later.